And welcome, sports fans, to today's Roundtable. Glad you joined us as we are into a very exciting point of the year, certainly into the conference schedule, even actually wrapping up the conference schedule at this point of the year, certainly with the conference tournaments. And there's been numerous of those over the last few weeks. We've covered quite a few of those here on YHC, also on the Go SEMO and SEMOsportzone.com. Going back to the Stoddard County Conference, Bootheel Conference, and even the Scott, Mississippi Conference that wrapped up last night up in Oran. We're going to touch on all those matchups that took place over the last few days that were big across the area, and also touch on the games that we've got coming up here on YHC and SEMOsportzone.com, and even Go SEMO, Fiber, that are big in the area coming up. And we've also got a broadcast today that we'll bring to you on Saturday, Campbell and Sikeston, which we'll touch on, and also recap the game that we brought to you Thursday night from Campbell and that Campbell versus Portageville Bootheel Conference Final. We'll have highlights and even an interview with Steve Fowler that we done, talking about their impressive season so far and the season they've got in front of them and their remaining schedule. So a lot to get to, including the basketball celebration that's coming up next Saturday, February 13th in Sikeston. We're going to talk about that, a book being released, Bootheel Basketball, and talks about the whole history of Bootheel Basketball, going all the way back to pretty much any recorded history of basketball, going all the way back with stories and archives of information that Erwin Porter is releasing next Saturday. You can even pre-order that book. We'll give you the access to do that. And a great celebration for next Saturday. Even I believe Tyler Hansbrough is going to be on hand for that. Former Poplar Bluff Mule great, and certainly North Carolina great, and even an NBA and professional career that continues today. So big celebration next week in Sikeston that we'll touch on as well. Even touch on some state rankings and other headlines from the area. So a lot to get to for today. So let's get into it, starting with the games this past weekend. We'll go back to Thursday night, the game that we brought to you here on YHC and SEMOsportzone.com. It was Campbell and Portageville in that Bootheel Conference Tournament Championship. Great contest there from Thursday night down in Campbell, and Campbell coming away with that victory decisively, 67-40. Coming away with that Bootheel Conference Championship. They run the table in the regular season and the tournament. So they won it outright, undefeated all the way through in the conference as well as the tournament, and just really dominating the conference this year. An impressive team there in Campbell. And let's take a look at some of those highlights from Thursday night. And going to the action here, nice spin move. Skylar Morrison getting the Camels started with an impressive turnaround there in the paint. Here, Caden Siebert stepping into a three-pointer, nails that on the right side. Here we see Drew Irby hitting a three on the left side for the Bulldogs. And we see here Morrison with a nice mid-range jumper there, stepping into. And here we see Jamerson Rand getting a basket and the foul. Portageville able to hang tough here in the first quarter, but a three-pointer again goes for the Camels. Here Blake Fowler going to step into a three on the left side, knocking that one down. And we see here Caden Siebert going to step into another three here in the second and here into the second half. Caden Siebert knocking in on another three. And here we see Kalen Bills going to get a nice drive. But in the end, it was the Camels getting a nice victory Thursday night on their home court to win the conference. And just a great nucleus there with Campbell. Many seniors on this squad. I think they got upwards to 9 seniors on this squad in Campbell. And you see there a great celebration.
And now we're with Campbell head coach Steve Fowler, along with us fresh off the Bootheel Conference Championship from Thursday night. And Steve, first of all, congratulations on a great victory Thursday night, completing that championship run in the tournament and getting to do it on your home court.
Sorry about that. Just went right into our interview there, but a great showing by great showing by Campbell in that game from Thursday night, and great atmosphere. You see that student body, they were rocking all night there in the gymnasium, and just a great showing as it's been all year for the Camels. Very impressive team, state-ranked team, and only one loss on the year coming to Charleston in their home opener. There on the opening week, and ever since then it's been a great run for the Camels, and we actually got a nice talk with Steve Fowler. We're going to touch on that in a moment. Had an interview with him. We'll get to our other games here and have that talk with Steve Fowler about their tournament, championship, as well as their season going forward with the Campbell Camels. And touching on some other games, a game that we brought live to you on the Go SEMO Fiber as well as SEMOSportZone.com. Last night it was Kelly, third-seeded Kelly Hawks, defeating the top-seeded Scott City Rams 54-47 to claim that Scott, Mississippi Conference Tournament Championship from Friday night. Impressive run by the Kelly Hawks. We'll talk more about that as well. And Delta, the fifth-seeded Delta, defeated second-seeded Oran for that third-place title, 69-62. And in other games, actually in that Scott, Mississippi, it's worth noting that Oran won the third place, Oran won the JV championship over. That was Oran over Kelly in that third place game, won in overtime, and that was men's for Oran hitting a three with the last few seconds in overtime for Oran to win the JV championship of that Scott, Mississippi Conference Tournament. And in SEMO Conference action last night, Sykes over Poplar Bluff 89-72. Impressive win for the Bulldogs last night. Poplar Bluff looked really good earlier in the week. A game we had with New Madrid County Central earlier in the week on Tuesday. Poplar Bluff looked really good. That game kind of came down to the end with New Madrid, but Sykeston getting an impressive win in that game last night over Poplar Bluff. Jackson over Farmington 63-51. Charleston over Kennett decisively there 63-45. Also in the SEMO Conference, and the Stoddard County Conference, Bloomfield over Puxico 50-47. Advance over Dexter, big win for the Advance Hornets last night, 72-65 in a rematch of the Stoddard County Conference Tournament. And Advance getting a win in that rematch from just last weekend over the Dexter Bearcats. Impressive win for the Advance Hornets. And in other games, Leopold over Bell City, 66-45. Clarkton over Southland, 63-32. Big win, decisive win there for the Clarkton Reindeer. Also, we have Bernie over Holcomb, 59-47. And also, we've got Risco over Richland, 72-62. Risco getting a nice district win there. Risco looks like they'll be on the inside track to get the top seed in their district there in Class 1, District 1. So it looks like the Risco might have a good chance at that top seed. They do have their conference tournament coming up, the Tri-County Conference Tournament coming up this next week. That'll be down at Delta C7 for this next week. And before we go to a break, I want to show you the interview we had with Steve Fowler. Had a nice interview with him talking about their Bootheel Conference Tournament run for that championship as well as their season so far and the season they've got ahead of them with the talented Campbell Camels. We'll take a look at that.
And now we're on with Campbell head coach Steve Fowler, along with us fresh off the Bootheel Conference Championship from Thursday night. And Steve, first of all, congratulations on a great victory Thursday night, completing that championship run in the tournament and getting to do it on your home court Thursday night. And we were there for it. And congratulations first off.
Well, thank you, Tyler. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's very special to be able to win a Bootheel Conference tournament. We've never had a chance to do that. We've been in the conference since 2014, and this year's the first time we got out first round actually. And to win it and win it on the home floor is something special for our kids.
Sure, and you made that jump, like you said, back in 14 from Tri-County over to the Bootheel, and that's a big jump, and really competitive basketball there at the Bootheel Conference, of course, and you've had a few teams that could potentially make a run. Certainly going back to last year, you had kind of the same nucleus as this year, and going back a number of years, there were some teams that could potentially make a run, but certainly finally getting to the championship game and winning it last night in a decisive fashion. So just as a program, as a school, as kind of a newcomer to the Bootheel Conference, getting to win that tournament, it's got to feel special for the school and the community as a whole.
Oh, absolutely. The Bootheel Conference is just so well with it. I mean, the conference is so competitive athletically. I mean, every school, everybody's got big, strong, physical kids and athletic kids. For us to be able to compete and compete at a high level in that conference, it's very good for our school, our community, our program. Last year we was able to split the conference, the regular season, and we get to the tournament and we get knocked out. I mean, it's just in the Bootheel Conference, depending on what night and what kids show up, man, you can take it on the chin any night at Bootheel.
Sure, yeah, that's certainly the case. And talking about your team, Steve, you've had this nucleus together for a number of years now. You got a great senior nucleus coming in this year, and going back to last year, you only lose one starter from last year's team, so a great nucleus coming back. And we've seen this team come along. Some of these, such as your son Blake's been playing as a freshman up on varsity, but certainly these kids have been playing and contributing at the varsity level for a number of years, and finally, as seniors, you can really start seeing it coming together. So just talk about the senior nucleus you've got there this year.
Oh yeah, we've got 9 seniors, and they're all super valuable to what we're trying to do. And those kids have been playing together since they've been in 3rd grade. I mean, they've been traveling and playing basketball together for a long, long time. And and it's paid off. I mean, we've got a lot of kids that's got a lot of varsity experience. Like you said, Blake, for one, he's been playing varsity since he's been a freshman, and we've got several other of our guys that are seniors now that played varsity basketball as freshmen and certainly as sophomores. And then last year, so we've got a lot of varsity experience, and we've got seniors, and that's what we expect seniors to do. Is contribute at a high level.
Sure. And, back to the tournament, you win that championship over Portageville Thursday night, and, tell you, Steve, Portageville, I call them a February team. You don't get the best of Portageville until February. They kind of go through the season and, through the Christmas tournament, and for half of the season, they just kind of play what you kind of expected, but they really turn it on in late January and February around conference district tournament time. So going in that you're going to have your hands full with a Portageville team that certainly has some threats on it. Certainly with Irby, big time player in Garland with the size he offers, and the energy players they've got around with Townsend and Rand. And those guys, you knew you had a tough test coming into that game Thursday night.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we knew Portageville's going to be ready. I mean, Portageville's got so much tradition. I mean, those kids see up, they walk through those halls, the gyms, state banks. They got so much tradition over there. And Portageville is going to guard you. I mean, and that's what they do. And we knew coming in that they was going to play hard-nosed defense, and they was going to be active, they was going to be physical, and it was going to be a battle. And I thought our kids come out, and I thought our kids rose to the level, competed last night. I thought we did a good job of defending last night as well.
Sure. Yeah, you got to a great start that first half, especially that second quarter. You really played great defense, and the shots were falling from all over the court. In that second quarter, you built up. I think it was an 18-point lead at half. So that great start at the beginning pretty much set the tone for the night.
Absolutely, yeah. We come out. Both teams come out hitting hard on all cylinders there. That first quarter was a battle, and that second quarter we kind of limited them. I think we held them to 4 points in the second quarter. And we got the basketball moving. They was playing that real good, hard-nosed defense. And we got that ball moving pretty good. And we found a couple of shooters, and they went in. And when the basketball starts going through the rim, a lot of times, your defense picks up as well. And I thought that's what happened. We started making some shots, and our defense got a little bit better, from what it was even in the first quarter.
Sure. And your great performance last night, and much of what the season we've got out of the Campbells this year. And you're riding a winning streak right now, Steve. You lost your opener with the Charleston Blue Jays, and ever since then you've been on a winning streak. So only one loss on the year coming to the Blue Jays on the opening week. And speaking of the Blue Jays, single conference foe that you picked up earlier in the year, and then now you're picking up a couple more single conference opponents, which Saturday you'll be taking on Sykeston over at the Field House, which will be over and be on hand for. Looking forward to that, as well as Notre Dame you picked up later in the week. So piling up on the schedule here, some single conference opponents certainly makes your schedule interesting this year.
Yes, absolutely. We wanted to get those teams on there. I mean, those teams. I mean, we got Sykeston tomorrow. We got to go to Sykeston tomorrow. Tuesday we got to go to East Prairie, which is East Prairie Homestead, playing well at home, and then we've got on Thursday we got to go to Cape, play Cape Notre Dame, and then we finish out the week on next Saturday with Scott Central. So we've got a lot of basketball games coming up this week, and we've got some really heavy hitters in there. And we wanted those teams on our schedule just to, throw those in there because we really feel that the schedule that we play in the Bootheel Conference is going to really help us because the Bootheel Conference is rugged. We've got a lot of good teams in there, just being physical and athletic, and then you step into the SEMO Conference, and it's just a totally different level. So it's going to be good for our kids to see Sykeston, to see Cape Notre Dame, and we're hoping that those games will help us come district tournament time.
Sure, and we'll be looking forward to that game Saturday with Sykeston. We'll be on hand for that over there at the field house. I'm sure your team will enjoy that. It's one of the nicest venues around there at the field house, and certainly enjoy that opportunity. And then your matchup with Notre Dame, and then you have those other opponents still on your schedule. So it's been a great year. We've been seeing this team kind of come together for the last number of years, knowing it was in the works, and you can just see it all come together at the end of this season. And congratulations, Steve, on your season so far, and certainly on the conference tournament victory. And good luck with everything forward, and looking forward to seeing what the Campbell's got in store for us for the remainder of the year.
Tyler, I appreciate it, man. Thank you guys so much.
Sure.
And as you saw there, Steve Fowler, very proud of his team, of course, and really a lot of confidence coming into this part of the year, coming off that conference tournament championship. Got a big matchup today we'll talk about in a moment, but if you want to watch the replay of that Bootheel Conference Final, we'll be having that coming up today here Saturday, and that'll be coming up here at 2 o'clock, 2 o'clock here on YHC TV, and then this evening at 6:30, and then Sunday afternoon at 1 p.m. You can catch that replay here on YHC Channel 21 on your Sparklight cable, or you watch it anytime. Go to our website at yhctv.com, or even our Facebook and YouTube pages with YHC TV, and even the SEMO Sport Zone Facebook and YouTube pages as well. Watch it on demand on our online platforms online. So great tournament championship there for Campbell, and they'll be back in action today here on YHC, and also at SEMOSportZone.com and Go SEMO Fiber Channel 95. That'll be Campbell versus Sykeston. That'll be live today, Saturday at 4:30, as well as we'll have that replay Sunday at 4:30 as well. So watch that live today right here on YHC, as well as Go SEMO and SEMOSportZone.com. We'll have that live for you today at 4:30. Campbell versus Sykeston from the Sykeston Fieldhouse. Should be a great contest. Looking forward to that later on today in Sykeston. Should be a good one. And we're going to take a break and come back with some headlines. Also talk about the basketball celebration for Bootheel Basketball coming up next Saturday for the weekend, and we will talk more about that coming up.
A few days ago, we had a customer come by the Kent dealership looking for a new truck. I had a really good visit with Phil and our salesman. Phil had his Army t-shirt and Army cap on, retired military. We're so proud of our troops, our active and veterans like Phil. Phil left in his new truck. We all enjoyed the visit. Best price, best service. Glenn Sane, and God bless our troops.
If you or your loved one has disabilities that cause you to need a little help, Boot Hill Area Independent Living Services can provide the assistance you need. At Bales, we want you to have control of your life and assist you in thriving in an independent lifestyle. The Consumer-Directed Services Program allows you, the consumer, to choose who assists you in conducting your daily activities. Bales serves Stoddard, Dunklin, New Madrid, and Pemiscot counties. Call or visit our office in Kennett to see how we can help you maintain your independence.
And welcome back. And before we move on to some headlines, first I want to talk about the basketball celebration that's going to be coming up next Saturday, February 13th. And that'll be over at Sikeston at the Sikeston Fieldhouse at 6 p.m. And it will be to celebrate, as the title shows, Bootheel Basketball. And this is a book release as well. And the book release details the Bootheel Basketball, and the subtitle there, A Half Century of Hoops Supremacy. And if you're not real familiar with Southeast Missouri basketball, certainly here in the Bootheel, it has certainly got a rich tradition of certainly success at the statewide level, but certainly the tradition of community, schools, basketball here in the Bootheel, and certainly that will detail all of it. And basically the description there, if you can't make that out, Bootheel Basketball. How could a small area of the state with only 40 schools have won an astounding 56 of 222 state championships awarded over the past 53 seasons? Bootheel Basketball takes older fans on a nostalgic trip back in time while sharing with younger hoops buffs the story of how Southeast Missouri teams became so dominant on a state level. Erwin Porter has assembled a collection of stories, records, and over 170 photos that tell the story of boys prep hoops in the Bootheel from 1968 to 2020. And this will be taking place February 13th at 6 p.m. at the Sikeston Fieldhouse. And you can meet 8 500-plus winning coaching greats. You'll see some of the legends there from Southeast Missouri. And they'll be on hand also meeting star players from the past, including NBA star Tyler Hansbrough, going to be on hand. And that's certainly a treat, as well as an autograph session, and refreshments will be served. And the book Bootheel Basketball, the author Erwin Porter and his son Chris Porter have done a great job assembling this book over the years. And this is also a book release party, so you've got a chance to order this book. You can even pre-order it online through Acclaim Press in Sikeston. Go to acclaimpress.com. acclaimpress.com. That's ACCLAIM Press. acclaimpress.com, and you can place your pre-order for this book of Bootheel Basketball, A Half Century of Hoops Supremacy. And that'll be a great book release, but also a great event if you're into Southeast Missouri hoops and high school basketball. You'll be able to see some of the legendary coaches of our era here in Southeast Missouri, as well as meet Tyler Hansbrough and other great athletes from years past. And certainly meet Erwin Porter and talk about his time putting this book together for this release. And this is a great book and a great event to be a part of. It's free to the public, no admission, and it'll be at the Sikeston Fieldhouse next Saturday, February 13th at 6 p.m. And we look to be on hand for that. We might even do something in accordance with that, broadcasting or interviews or whatever. So we'll see what happens there. But a great event there next Saturday. And buy this book. This is not only just to have it to pass it down. This is something that pass it down if you're a Southeast Missouri hoops fan, and that's something to pass down to leave for generations to come, to know about the rich tradition of high school basketball here in Southeast Missouri, and just keeping the memories alive. And it's certainly worth the commitment to do that with all the rich tradition we've got here in the Bootheel and high school basketball, and also to support the work. That's one thing that's important this time, to support the great work that people do, such as Erwin Porter, putting this together over probably numerous years. He's been compiling this, this information, as well as the photos and all the stories that goes into this book. Support the good work that Erwin Porter's put together, and it'll be a great event, a great book to be a part of as well. So just keep that in mind for next Saturday, February 13th. And let's talk about some headlines from the week, and talking about Campbell's impressive run, and it is their first ever Bootheel Conference Tournament Championship. They've had a couple of teams that certainly were having the potential and capacity to win that tournament championship, and finally putting one together this year. They went to the conference in 2014, going from the Tri-County Conference over to the Bootheel Conference, and winning that tournament championship, going away this year with an impressive team, an impressive run for this year, certainly in the conference. And congratulations once again to Campbell and securing their first ever Bootheel Conference Tournament Championship and getting to do it for their home fans on their home court and their community. It just makes it even better. So congratulations to Campbell on that Bootheel Tournament Championship. And also talking about Kelly completing their impressive run this year. We broadcast that game last night over on Go SEMO Fiber, Channel 95, and SEMOSportZone.com. And that was the Scott, Mississippi Tournament Championship that Kelly come away with. An impressive run they had in the semifinal round. They had to go through Oran on Oran's home floor where the tournament was held. And they lost to Oran twice in the year already, and having to face them again for a third time on their home floor, and Kelly getting the win over Oran in that semifinal game earlier in the week. I believe that was on Tuesday night, winning that semifinal game, and then taking on Scott City, the top seed, and winning that championship last night. And Coach Fred Johnson's done a great job this year, and certainly this week with the Kelly Hawks. And Kelly Hawks, team to look out for. They had a nice run in that Southeast Missouri Christmas tournament, certainly coming away with this tournament championship. And Kelly's going to have, they're playing in that Class 4 District 1 along with New Madrid, County Central, and Dexter, Kennett, Doniphan. And they're one of the 5 teams in that district. Might have a claim for potentially the 3rd seed. I think the New Madrid and Dexter are going to have the top seeds wrapped up there, but that 3rd seed, might be up for grabs, and Kelly might have a nice claim for that in that 3rd seed coming off that tournament championship this week. And a great performance by Kelly coming away with that conference title. And take a look at Advance. The Advance Hornets getting a big win over Dexter in the regular season Stoddard County Conference, and they win the game 72-65, and a rematch of the conference tournament championship last weekend. It was Dexter defeating Advance and come from behind faction. They had to come back in the 4th quarter. I believe Dexter was down 8 with about 2 minutes to go, put together a run to win 43-42, low scoring game where Dexter come out on top by just a point. But this time, quite a bit more scoring in this one, 72-65 final score. Advance avenging that loss from just a week ago. And Advance looks like they're going to come away with the conference title in the regular season, win the regular season title with that win. Advance has gone undefeated in the conference. They might have a game left, but actually they got 2 non-conference games this week. So they might be through their conference schedule, and they've went through the toughest part of it anyways. If they've got 1 or 2 left, they've defeated Bernie, beat them by 1 in the regular season, beating Dexter, and those are the top, the other top 2 teams in the conference. So Advance looks to win that conference title in the regular season, even though they did drop the conference tournament championship. Looks like Advance will come away with the Stoddard County Conference regular season title and go undefeated. So nice run by Advance, and Dexter just coming up a bit short. Knew it was going to be a tough game. It was going to be a tough contest. It went down to the wire just last weekend. And Advance looking really good, coming on strong. A team that has kind of went under the radar a little bit this year. The Advance Hornets, got to look out for them. They're very capable. Coach Wheatley, he's been through a lot of big games over the last few years, making a state run just a few years ago. And they're certainly capable of making a run this year. And they play in that talented Class 2 right there with Campbell and Oran there in the mix as well. And Advance, you got to be talking about the Hornets going forward there in that Class 2 here in Southeast Missouri. They're going to be one of the contenders to make it out of Southeast Missouri there in Class 2. And also Doniphan getting a nice win over Kennett earlier this week. Pretty decisive win for them. So they're also there in that Class 4 District 1. And right now, I think between the seeds 3 through 5, 3, 4, and 5, it's going to come down to basically Kelly, Doniphan, and Kennett battling out for those 3rd through 5th seeds. And I think at this point it might be Doniphan and Kelly vying for that 3rd spot. We'll see how that plays out. At least with that 3rd seed, you at least go right into the semifinal round to take on the 2nd seed, which I think, just speculating at this point, probably be Dexter. And then that 4th and 5th seed would play each other to play into the semifinal round to take on, I would speculate, as New Madrid as that number 1 seed. So at least you would go right into that semifinal round as the 3rd seed, although you would play on the road potentially against Dexter in that semifinal round. So, at least you're right into the semifinal round and not have to play into it as you would as a 4 or 5 seed. So we'll see how that plays out. But Donovan getting a nice win earlier in the week over Kennett. And we're going to take another break, and we're going to come back and talk about the state rankings for this week. We've got quite a few teams there in the mix in the state rankings. Also, take a look at our broadcast schedule going forward for the last remaining weeks of the regular season in high school basketball. We'll be back with that coming up.
This is more than a bundle. It's more than a combo deal. It's not just stuff. This is your home, your car, and you want to give them the protection they deserve with home and auto insurance. State Farm agents get it. It's why they're here.
In Dexter, talk to State Farm agent Chris Brannon today.
My name is Matt Tanner. I'm the president of First State Community Bank in Sykeston. Being part of a community-based bank for me is the top priority. We have our roots here. We provide jobs here. We give back to our school. We provide scholarships. That is of utmost importance to us besides taking care of our customers. And we have the resources of a large bank, but the ability to maintain a local presence and local decision-making, a local board is an absolute astounding thing in this day and age of banking. I am Matt Tanner. I am First State Community Bank.
And welcome back, and now let's take a look at some state rankings for the state of Missouri and boys high school basketball. First starting off with Class 1 for the state of Missouri. South Iron still on top at number 1 and having a heck of a year, followed by Lockwood, Mound City, Winston, Chadwick, Leeton, Northwestern of Mendon, St. Elizabeth, Jefferson, and Bunker, rounding out the top 10 for Class 1. Into Class 2, Lakeland stays on top at number 1, followed by Crane at Mid-Buchanan. Campbell remains at number 4 this week. Also Oran at number 5, followed by Bishop LeBlond, Western, Northeast Cairo, Smithton, and Gallatin. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see the Advance Hornets sneak into that top 10 here in the last few weeks with the impressive run they've had. Hartville on top at number 1 in Class 3. They're defending Class 2 state champions, playing in Class 3 this year, and at number 1, followed by Greenwood, who Hartville's actually defeated earlier in the year, followed by Greenwood, then Monroe City, Thayer at number 4, Summit Christian following at number 5, then Christian of O'Fallon, Skyline, Lafayette County, Iberia, and Lynn in Class 3. Looking to Class 4, Vashon remains at number 1 this week, followed by New Madrid County Central at number 2 once again this week, followed by Country Day, MICDS, then Miller Career Academy, East Newton, Blair Oaks, Westminster Academy, Center, Priory, and Ava, rounding out the top 10 for Class 4. Then in Class 5, Carteret remaining at number 1, the defending Class 3 state champions, playing up in Class 5 this year due to the championship factor for private schools, followed by Mexico, Webb City, University City, DeSmet, St. Dominic, Cape Notre Dame, they're at number 7. Then Lafayette of St. Joseph, Platte County, and Logan Rogersville. And those are the state rankings for this week. And got quite a few teams there in the mix. I wouldn't be surprised. You see Advance in there. They had some losses this year, but a key win over Dexter might impress some voters to get them into that top 10 for Class 2. And take a look at our broadcast schedule going forward. Not a whole lot of games left. We've got a few weeks left in the season. And take a look at the games that we've got remaining. The games we got remaining today, here on Saturday, here on YHC, we got Campbell at Sykeston, 4:30 here on Saturday. Tune in for that. Then Tuesday night, we got Zenith at Kennett, Zenith Hornersville at Kennett, and a Dunkland County clash there. Should be a good one Tuesday night in Kennett. And then Friday night, we got Kennett at Dexter. That'll be a SEMO Conference matchup and a rematch of the Bloomfield Christmas Tournament Championship there on February 12th, next Friday night. And then next, I guess that'll be Tuesday. The following Tuesday, East Prairie at Malden. And then wrapping up our regular season schedule on that Thursday will be Cape Central at Kennett. That'll be a SEMO Conference matchup as well. So those are the remaining games on YHC TV, on Sparklight and New Wave Cable Channel 21. Also, you can catch those games online through SEMOsportzone.com and pretty much all the online platforms. Then over on Go SEMO, Fiber Channel 95, the games that we're bringing over there on Channel 95 on Go SEMO will be the Campbell and Sykeston as well here on Saturday. Then next Tuesday, we've got Scott County Central at Advance. Then Thursday, Delta at Advance. Then Friday night, on the 12th, we got Cape Central at Sykeston. That'll be a SEMO Conference matchup there, a big rivalry game. And then the following Tuesday, Sykeston at New Madrid County Central. That'll be a SEMO Conference matchup there. And by that time, I think New Madrid can clinch the regular season SEMO Conference title with victories next week in the conference, and that could be the game there that they clinch it outright. Then on Thursday night will be South Pemiscot at East Prairie, and then that Friday night on the 19th, Jackson at Sykeston, also a SEMO Conference matchup there. So those are the matchups to look forward to. The remaining for the remainder of the season on Go SEMO. Channel 95 on Go SEMO Fiber. And also you can watch all those games on SEMOsportzone.com as well. And be sure to follow the SEMO Sports Zone Facebook and YouTube pages. Watch those through those platforms as well. And that's pretty much going to wrap it up for today. Don't forget, we got another live broadcast here today, Saturday. That'll be Campbell and Sykeston live at 4:30 from the Sykeston Fieldhouse. We'll replay that Sunday at 4:30. You can watch on YHC Channel 21 on your Sparklight New Wave Cable, as well as Go SEMO Fiber Channel 95, and of course on our online platforms through YHC TV and SEMO Sport Zone. So look forward to that broadcast today, and that'll wrap it up for today. We appreciate everyone for tuning in as always, and we'll see you next time. And until then, have a great week. Take care, everyone.